Hello, everyone. Happy RJ Summer Week. Thank you so much for being here with us. We're super excited. This is our core programming. This week, we will be celebrating reproductive justice all week, and we are of course, kicking it off with our Young Mothers Rising program and our partners at Young Women's Freedom Center. So, we're going to have a great conversation talking about two of the reproductive justice tenets. Tenet number one, the right to have a child, and our third tenet, the right to parent in safe and healthy communities. But before we get into all of that, I would love for us to go around and do some introductions. If people can share their name, their pronouns, and then some of the work that you do or some of the work that you're hoping to do in the future. So I can kick us off and then I'll pass to Dr. Mays. My name is Lakia Williams. I use she, her pronouns. I am a reproductive justice program coordinator here at Dream. So I coordinate all of the RJ programs at Dream, some of the programs at Dream, including Young Mothers Rising, RJ Summer, which is our youth reproductive justice internship, and our abortion practical support program. And I will pass it to Dr. Mays.
Hi, everyone. We're so happy that you all are here. Happy RJ Summer Week. Super excited about this conversation. My name is Dr. Aisha Mays. My pronouns are she, her. I'm the CEO and founder of Dream Youth Clinic. I'm also an adolescent medicine and family medicine doctor. I really love working with young people. I love all things reproductive justice and supporting our youth every day around empowering them and supporting them around all of their health decisions. And I will pass it to Young Women's Freedom Center.
Hey y'all, my name is Peaches. I'm the pronoun she, her, and I'm the programs manager at the Young Women's Freedom Center. I get to oversee all of our programs and I get to make special connections like the one that we are making with Dream Youth Clinic. This is our first time connecting, but I'm just happy to be here. So, yeah. And then I'll pass it to...
Hello, my name is Yana. My pronouns are she, her. I currently don't work, but I do go to school for nursing, so that's most likely what I'll be doing in the future.
Hi, my name is Destiny, pronouns she, her. I am now an alumni at the Young Women's Freedom Center for Young Mothers United. I started studying psychology last semester, and I'm really looking forward to helping the community and helping moms and helping children with mental health. So that's where I'm going right now.
Yeah, these are our youth from our Young Mothers United program.
Love it.
Yes, we're so excited to have you here. Like Peaches said, we have worked together in the past, but I'm so glad that we're deepening our partnership and we're connecting our young moms and really growing and building our communities, which is amazing. So before we get into our topic, I would love for us to kind of share a little bit about our respective organizations and the work that we do to kind of help guide the conversation that we'll have today. So I'll pass to Dr. Mays to talk about Dream and our vision and how we embody reproductive justice.
Yeah, thank you so much, Lakia. So Dream Youth Clinic, so we opened in 2017, and the spirit of our mission of Dream Youth Clinic has always been steeped in reproductive justice. We support young people and care for young people who have been most vulnerable in our communities, which is what the RJ framework does. So we focus on Black girls, Black youth, youth of color, and gender expansive youth. And we really want to create a health center that provides wraparound holistic services, because that's what reproductive justice is. So we provide all free medical care, mental health care, youth programs, lots of youth internships, and digital health education. So it was really important for us as we talk more about reproductive justice today, is that we wanted to make sure that we baked in all of those upstream social needs that young people have that can help them to actualize the healthcare that we know is for them. So like providing transportation support, providing food support, providing an internship and information opportunities so the young people can continue to live all of their healthy lives and make their best health decisions. So that's us at Dream. And we're right here in Oakland. We have 4 locations in Oakland, drop-in services for all young people.
Beautiful. Thank you for that, Dr. Mays. Peaches, can you tell us a little bit about Young Women's Freedom Center and the Young Mothers United program?
Yes. So Young Women's Freedom Center is a statewide organization. We have an office in San Francisco, here in Oakland, Richmond, San Jose, and down in LA. So Young Mothers United is one of our core programs. We have three core programs that we do that we run at all of the sites. One of them is going to be Freedom Circle, which is like kind of our general programming. That's like usually a young person's first interaction with the center, like how we get folks connected, or like if we get any referrals, they come through our Freedom Circle. We also have one that is Transform Your Hustle, so teaching our young people how to turn fast money into legit sustainable money, kind of changing that narrative, because a lot of our young people are system impacted. Young Women's Dream Center works with system impacted girls and gender expansive youth, so from ages 12 to 25. So that demographic. So Young Mothers United, which is what these young ladies are a part of, is our young moms group. And it's just basically about like breaking bread, building community, having that support that young moms need, um, educating our young mothers about the different systems that there is, and like the systematic barriers that our young moms may not know that they're experiencing or have experienced. We also have a book. It's called My Life Chose Me. So it's our young mother's guide on navigating the system. So we talk about like incarceration, the foster care system, the welfare system, like how to advocate for yourself while behind bars, before you, like all of the things that you may need, that we do at the center. But yeah, so Young Mothers United is specifically for our young mommies, who have kids, who are expecting, first time moms. It's like a group where just young moms can just see one another, hear one another, and really relate, because our young moms experience things like very similarly, but also very differently. Like we may have like the same, the on paper it may be black and white to some people, exactly the same, but their experiences and our experiences are always going to be different. So that's what our Young Mothers United program is like centered around. And then we also like to like, ask the young moms, what do they want to like learn about, what do they need help with. Like we talk about like just everyday life things that we may need to do. So that's what we do. Yeah.
Thank you so much for that, Peaches. There's already so much natural overlap between the Young Mothers United program and the Young Mothers Rising program, and I want to get into that. But first, I want to see Yana and Destiny. Is there anything that you would like to add about the Young Mothers United program or your experience in it?
Okay, so starting off with the Young Mothers United program, I was really shy. I was a little closed off and isolated due to going through postpartum. And finding that community, it really helped me open back up and be like comfortable with community. And I'm thankful for that. It helped me with my leadership skills and advocating for other people and other moms, other kids. It's just helped me a lot, just grow as a person, and I'm just happy to be involved with it.
So I'm a newcomer, so it's a little different for me. But so far they helped me with a lot. They gave me a lot of resources. They gave me a lot of products to help me with my pregnancy. It's real good. I would recommend. I really would. I would recommend.
Beautiful. It's so wonderful to hear directly from the young people what their experience have been in these programs. So that's wonderful to hear. Like Peaches was saying, there's so much natural overlap between Young Mothers United and Young Mothers Rising. We also work with system impacted young people, and we're actually going to talk about that a little bit today on our podcast episode. And I love, Destiny, that you brought up building community in the program, because we'll talk about the importance of community on this podcast. So perfect segues into our topic today. So with that being said, today we are focusing on two of the reproductive justice tenets. So for anyone that may be live streaming in, I'll just give a brief overview of reproductive justice, and then I'll pass to Dr. Mays and Destiny, or to Peaches if you have anything to add. But reproductive justice is a human rights-based framework and movement that was created in 1994 by 12 Black women who really saw a gap in how, the world and how the United States particularly was talking about reproductive rights, and how it really left Black women and women of color out. And so they got together, they organized, and they created this movement that's based in 4 different tenets, all in a human rights framework. So the first tenet is the right to have a child. The second is the right to not have a child. The third is the right to parent in safe and healthy communities. And the fourth is the right to bodily autonomy. So this week, RJ Summer Week, we'll be talking about all of those tenets. And today we're focusing on the first and the third. So the right to have a child, specifically that right for young people and access and barriers that may exist for young people to choose to have a child. And then the right to parent in safe and healthy communities. So a little bit of what you were talking about, Destiny, growing that community. And then also what you were talking about, Peaches, with system impact on young people and how being in the juvenile courts and being in just the court system in general really does impact people's human rights and their reproductive justice. So we want to get into all of that today. So with that being said, I want to pass to Dr. Mays and Peaches to see if you have anything to add about reproductive justice. And if not, moving into what does it mean for young people to have the right to have a child?
I can add a little bit to that, and I love that we talk so much about reproductive justice, and now we're talking about it more with young people. I feel like Dream has been a leader, Young Women's Freedom has been a leader, and really talking about reproductive justice for youth. We've been talking about this for everyone since the 90s, but really young people have been left out of the equation. And one of the things that we do at Dream that feels so important is showing that. So like not only talking about it, but how do we put it in practice? So like what that actually means. And Lakia will talk to us more about Young Mothers Rising. So having a program for young people who are pregnant and parenting or planning to become pregnant, right? That's how we put an RJ into practice around the right to have a child. And even the expansion of that group to having a national space for young people, like a national Young Mothers Rising group that also supports young people. How do we actually put into practice the right not to have a child? So like when we talk about birth control, when we talk about supporting young people with all their reproductive health choices around not getting pregnant. And then how do we put that into practice around building safe communities for young people for parenting? So that's this community here, right? That's us at Young Women's Freedom Center and working together, but that's also showing that in the community through community events, through advocacy. So really the importance around talking about it, but also showing how we do it so that other communities can then emulate that and they can create their own systems that work really well in their communities to support reproductive justice principles for young people.
Yeah, I add something too. I want to echo what Dr. May said is like having these conversations with young people. Especially like me being a young person in leadership, I think there's a difference between schooling somebody and educating somebody. And I think education is very, very important. And I think reproductive justice needs to be in schools because it's like young people need to know about their body, the choices that they can make, the choices that they do have. Like, I can do this. I actually don't have to do this if I don't want to. So I think it's very important, like, educating our young people, and me being a young person and getting educated as well. Like, it goes a long way because it's like, like the young people are the future, like, so it's like, if you don't know, you don't know. And it's like you can't hold somebody, or you can't, like, get mad at somebody for not educating them or like helping them. And I think it's very important that like we have these conversations with young people, and like even just like as sister organizations, like, like we're partnerships. Like, I think these conversations are important so that young people know that there are places and that there are resources, like, and there is community. Like, if you don't have those things at home, like there are places that you can go to, and there are like Dream Youth Clinic, like where you can come and get medical support on site with no ID, and no, like there's things that like youth don't know that you can come to. It's like, even with Young Women's Freedom Center, like we have other groups besides like our Young Mothers group. We have like entrepreneurship groups that like we do. So it's like there's all of these things that young people need, but it's like if you don't know, you don't know. So I think it's really important. So that's just what I wanted to echo.
To echo off of you, the access to the communities and the programs, I feel like all youth they deserve the access to it. They deserve to know about, what they can possibly benefit from, or what, they can get what they need, or go to places I didn't even know. Like, learning about, when I first learned about the Women's Freedom Center, I didn't even know like these type of programs existed. So to even like, it's like, okay, I feel like I could have learned a little faster, but I'm just happy that I know now, and I could tell other people. And okay, maybe you won't have to go through what I went through for as long as I did, because I'm gonna give you this resource right here, because I was given it. So yeah.
I love that you said that, Destiny, because access is a huge art. That's reproductive justice. Like, if we have all these services and programs and all the things, and nobody knows about it, one, information, and no one can get to it, two, or when you get there, like there's all these barriers, then that's not RJ for young people. So, like, really, again, all those, making sure that all the systems and structures are open so that young people can access the services that we say are for them.
Wonderful. Did you have anything you wanted to add, Yana? No, perfect. Thank y'all so much for just talking about reproductive justice and the different ways that we engage with it and the different ways that we live it out in our practice. I love, Dr. Mays, that you kind of spoke on like creating a model for reproductive justice or a model of practicing reproductive justice that other organizations and other groups can utilize, because just like Destiny was saying, like, we will learn the information, we'll start doing it. It's so important to pass that on to others. So I feel like I'm seeing that on the individual level as well as organizational. So that is amazing. Okay, great. We talked about reproductive justice, period. Now I want to talk about our first tenet of reproductive justice, the right to have a child, and specifically for young people. So Dr. Mays and Peaches, if y'all would like to share a little bit about why it's so important for young people to have the right to have a child and what that looks like in practice. And what does like support look like in that process as well? And I'll pass to you, Peaches.
I think it's really important for young people to know like their right to have a child, because like I mentioned, like, or like we both mentioned, we work with a lot of like system impacted girls. So a lot of our young girls are, it's sad to say, but like are being trafficked. They, like are getting pregnant by like their abusers. So it's like educating our young girls to actually be like, actually, you don't have to have a baby by this man who has brainwashed you to do all of these things, to, just do all of these things, like, for example. But I just think it's super important. Like I said, like I think schooling and education are two different things. And I think a lot of people don't know the difference. Like I think school and education, like education is going to take you somewhere. So it's like if you know something and you know that like actually like yeah like I can have this baby because I decide to, because this is my body. Like I'm entitled to my body. Like I get to make these decisions. And I think a lot of young people think because they're young people that they don't have options, and they don't have say-sos on what goes on like with their body or like with their pregnancy and what they can and can't do. And like and just having our young people help advocate for themselves to speak up while like expecting or not expecting or feeling like they don't want to go through with pregnancies, but yeah, like helping them advocate, like actually like I actually don't want to do this, or actually this doesn't feel safe for me, or whatever the case may be. But yeah, I just think it's super important. And I love that you guys are highlighting like restorative justice, because I feel like it's not talked about enough. And I think it's super important to like we said, to talk about it with our young people, like just like having these conversations. Like, and I'm very big on like conversations can go a long way. Like if you could just sit and have a conversation with somebody, that will probably sit in somebody's like memory and brain than maybe like going through school or like just like whatever. So I feel like I say, like conversations go a long way. So I'm just happy that we get to have this conversation together, and we get to learn from one another and also learn together.
Yeah, I love that. I echo everything Peaches says. I just feel like it's and what some of what I love that she said is around choices and choice and autonomy and freedom, right? So like one of the tenets of reproductive justice is bodily autonomy. Well, bodily autonomy, that means you get to choose what you want to do with your body at all stages of your life and all stages that your body goes through. So that's pregnancy. That's pregnancy and what you want to do with the pregnancy. That's whether you want to be pregnant or not be pregnant. That's whether you want to be connected sexually or not. You get to choose all of that. And so we can't say that young people can make choices around whether they're going to be on birth control or whether they're going to get tested for STIs or whether they're going to go and get health information. But they can't make a choice whether they want to parent or not parent. Like it all is part of one, it's all part of reproductive justice. Two, most importantly, is all centered around bodily autonomy. And if we're saying that young people should be able to make autonomous decisions around their bodies and their health, which we do staunchly believe at DREAM, and also the medical community in general has said that, then that also means that young people get to make choices with this. More than just a choice. So making a choice without having enough support or resources or information or supportive community around you does not allow young people, does not allow anyone to make a really independent choice. So often we see, young folks, adults are making choices because of scarcity. It's like, well, I don't have this thing, so I'm going to make this choice. It's like, well, what could happen if we make sure that young people have all the things that they need, and do what we can to support that, to help to create that supportive community, to bring in those basic needs resources, so young folks can decide, okay, well, I want to do this, and I know if I do it, I'm going to have all this support, or I don't want to do it either way, right? So being able to make a real choice, knowing that will have all the resources available to them.
I love this conversation, and I love that we brought up access and resources and support, something that I've talked about ad nauseum with some of the moms in our Young Mothers Rising program at Dream Youth Clinic, is how, especially for moms that are still living at home in their parents' house, it may seem like legally they have the right to choose to have a child or to become a parent, but if they're still living in their parents' home, there's a lot of barriers that exist with them having a legal guardian and them having the final say, and the parent really having a lot of say in kind of dictating their autonomy, and they can take things away or confiscate things or just like really make it a difficult process for them to choose on their own. So I love that we have spaces like Young Women's Freedom Center and Dream Youth Clinic where they can come in and they can get that education that you're talking about, Peaches, where they can learn, like, I do have the final say. And yes, I may live in my parents' home, but this is my body and I have autonomy over it and I can make that choice. And then not only are we giving them that education, but we're also giving them the resources. So we have prenatal care. We have other services as well for young people. We can connect them to appointments. So I love that we have these safe spaces for young people. And I also want to open it up to Destiny and Yana, if y'all have any thoughts that you'd like to share around this topic from your own experience.
Like, how has your pregnancy been? Like, you making decisions?
Okay, my pregnancy, it's been all right. The decision making, I'm gonna be honest, I'm close with my family, but I'm not. So the decision making is mainly just me and my partner, and my partner supports anything. So yeah, it's
Whatever you say,
yeah.
Yeah, having a supportive partner is very important. But even if you don't have that, like being around, hearing from other people, like maybe something that your mom won't tell you, or something that, cause she trying to protect you, or something that the doctor won't tell you, like just having somebody to tell you, like, you got this if you want to do this. If you don't want to do this, you got that too. Like, it's all up to you. Just, I don't know, having the right to do what I want to do with my body is just, it feels empowering, and I would like to empower other women, and whatever your choice is, do it, and I'm gonna support you with that. And there's so many different like resources or things I could say, like, regardless of the choice, but because it's all up to you, but it's so many things we could help with a conversation. So yeah.
Yes, yes, yes to all of that. And support looks so different and comes in so many forms. So you have support from like a family member or your partner, but also from your community and your friends and your peers. So I love what you're saying, Destiny, of like, I'm going to support you no matter what, because someone may not have a partner that's supportive or a family member that's supportive, but they know they have Destiny, a friend who's supportive. So if they don't know where to go, they know to come to you. And you have all these resources. So you know to send them to Young Women's Freedom Center, you know to send them to Dream, so you get them connected. So even just y'all being here and being yourselves and showing up and standing up and empowering yourself is empowering others. So I'm so glad that y'all are out here doing this work with us. Perfect. I also wanted to ask, moving on to our next question. Y'all both talked about feeling pretty supported, or different types of support. So I just wanted to ask a little bit more. What were some supports that were available to you all as young moms that were really helpful in your process through pregnancy, and then Destiny, for you postpartum and becoming a mother?
For me, my biggest support was my family. More specifically, my mom and my dad. my brothers played a big role in helping me raise my sons while their dad was not around. And just finding community like the Young Women's Freedom Center. My mom was reached out by one of the SDs outside at an event, and she was like, "Oh, I don't even know how the conversation came up that I had a baby, but yeah, it came up, and that she told me to come in." And after that, I'm like, okay, like I like it here. Like I never really was able to talk to nobody. Like my whole pregnancy, I didn't talk to other pregnant women. I didn't talk to women my age. Like, so being in that room and having those conversations with the other women, other pregnant girls and people my age, it's like, oh, we all okay, like we got this. Like, so yeah, that's how I feel about it.
It was kind of the same for me. Like, so far, I haven't really been around any other moms or anything other than the group. So I kind of can agree with what she's saying, majority of what she's saying, because I experienced it too. So I'm sorry, y'all. I need glasses. I can't read for real from far, so I know y'all probably think I'm looking crazy. I'm just trying to read.
No, not at all. Perfect. Okay, so y'all talked about the supports that y'all had. It sounds like y'all had really robust support. I heard a lot of community, and we're going to talk about that next in our next question. But before that question, I wanted to see if there were any supports that felt missing. So it could be like a support person, but also just like resources. Were you able to get the things that you needed during your pregnancy and then postpartum as well?
For me, housing was one of my biggest, the hardest things for me. And mental health help, like mental health therapy, something I didn't. Yeah, that was the main two things I feel like I was missing.
Well, I'm still going through pregnancy, guys. So far I've been getting the help and support that I do need. I haven't went through the postpartum yet, so I will have to get back to you guys on that part.
I just love what you all are saying around community, and it's some things that are the young women who are in Young Mothers Rising have also said. Just having a community and being able to see other young moms who look just like you, who are going through similar things, being able to talk about it in a group, in a safe space, so you don't feel alone. And Destiny, I was just listening to what you were saying around like going to the Young Women's Freedom Center and being like, oh, okay, they're going through it too, and we've heard our young moms say that so much. Just being able to see ourselves and to see someone who's like in a similar situation, or like maybe they experience something that you're experiencing now. Maybe they're feeling a certain way, and you all could also be able to support each other, and how much that can do to one, make you're not alone, but just how that also can celebrate your pregnancy. Like the reason why we started Young Mothers Rising is because we noticed we actually weren't even planning on starting a group. We just happened to have, when we started in 2017, we had our first few patients that were coming to see us at clinic were young women who were pregnant and wanted to continue their pregnancies. It was probably like 5 in the first month. It was like, oh, we should have a group, because we noticed that our moms were saying very similar things. They didn't know who else was going through this. They needed some support. We're like, well, we're here to support each other. And that part is, I think that, you said it so well, but I think that people can think that that's such a small thing. Like, oh, they're just getting together and they're just talking. And yeah, we are, and we're learning. But the bigger thing is that like, it's creating this space around empowerment and celebration. Like motherhood, like pregnancy is a time also of celebration where so many older moms, they are celebrated all throughout their pregnancies, not just the baby shower, like all the time. And we have withheld that from our young moms. So really bringing in that celebration that I see through a Young Women's Freedom Center at Dream with Young Mothers Rising can be really life-changing from what I've heard our moms say. And just, I just wanted to say that because Destiny, what you said just really resonated, because it's something our moms talk about all the time.
Yes, thank you for highlighting that, Dr. Mays. Just at our last Young Mothers Rising group on Wednesday, we had 9 moms and a whole bunch of babies in the space, and it was really beautiful to see that we had people that were at different points in their journey, which made it so wonderful because people were able to ask questions to someone who like just went through that season. So we have moms who were like wondering like what is the process like of trusting someone with childcare, and then we have a mom who just enrolled her baby in childcare, and then we have another mom who has like a 9-year-old and has been doing this with multiple kids. So they're able to learn from people who have different levels of experience. We had people in there that weren't pregnant, that wanted to become pregnant. And then we had pregnant people, people who were pregnant with kids, people who have kids and aren't pregnant. So there's just like so much diversity. And I feel like that just broadens how much knowledge you can gain because people have different experiences. So I love that aspect of the Young Mothers Rising program. Yeah, I just wanted to add that. But any final thoughts on our first tenet of reproductive justice, the right to have a child, before we move on to the second one? Any burning comments before we move on? Perfect. Okay, we'll move on to our third tenet of reproductive justice, the last one that we'll talk about for this podcast. I'd love to hear from Dr. Mays and Peaches what it looks like for young people to be able to parent in safe and healthy communities. So we talked a lot about community and support for young moms, but what does it look like to prioritize safety and health in those communities so that the moms and their babies are supported?
I just feel like Young Women's Freedom Center and Dreams does this so well on the advocacy front. And I can't wait to hear from Peaches around the advocacy that you are doing, because I know that you all do so much advocacy work in the community. And I want to just answer it in a couple of ways. First, I want to just talk about the advocacy piece, because we've been talking a lot around like how we are directly supporting our young people, which is so important. But we also have to call on our communities, our civic leaders, our politicians, our city council, our mayor's offices, our state and national government to ensure the safety of our young people in raising their children in healthy and safe communities. So that's just ensuring safety in our communities. We know that there's not enough safety in Black and Brown communities. We know that we are supporting and working with Black and Brown young people, and that's where that community activism and advocacy really comes in and is so important. And that's where it's really important for our civic leaders to hear from us, to see us, because we are leaders in this work. Dream is leader in this work. Young Women's Freedom Center are leaders in this work. And so showing up at those city council meetings, working with our young people as leaders, so really hearing from them. Destiny mentioned earlier, just with her work at Young Women's Freedom Center, becoming more of a leader in the community. Well, also hearing from our young people on what they need to feel safe, and then taking it back to our civic leaders so that they are writing the next referendum, the next bill, the next laws that really go into place that elevate safety in our community. We can't feel like we can support our children and that we can help them to thrive in their lives when there's so much violence happening in the neighborhood. It doesn't go hand in hand. So like that, the advocacy piece is so important.
I love that. I'm like the type of thinker, like when people think, I just like sit, and I know me and Lakia, we met before like last week, and I was like, it'd be like ding, 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 ding. So like as you were speaking, Dr. May, I was just thinking of like how you said, like the advocacy work that we do and kind of just putting our youth and our young mothers like at the forefront. And I feel like educating our young people and like all of these conversations that we have, like for me, like I was a young person, like coming into this work, I was a young person. I was a participant of the Young Women's Freedom Center. And I was a part of this program called the Pride Project, which was a LGBTQIA space for gender expansive youth. So that's how I got connected, and kind of just being in these type of positions, and like how Destiny mentioned, like her coming through the center and growing in her leadership. And like for me too, like I can say that too, like me coming to the Young Women's Freedom Center, I was living a different life, like so for me to be like where I'm at today, and like showing our young people, and like helping, like pouring into our young moms and showing our young moms like we get to be at these sides of the tables, and we get to have these conversations, and we get to be the ones that get to educate our communities and give back to our communities, because we didn't have that. So like you mentioned, like just like, yeah, like pouring into our young people, advocating, and just putting our youth at the forefront. Like that's just what all of our organizations like want, is just educating our youth, making sure our youth are successful in the next generation. They could take what we're leading and the work that we're doing now, and making the change that we're doing now, and just leading with that, and leading with a whole heart. And I just wanted to also mention too, like when you had said like pregnancy is also needs to be celebrated. Like, babies are blessings. Like, like we need to have all of these things. Like me, I'm not a parent, like, but I have nieces and nephews, and I'm just like, it's such a beautiful thing. And I feel like a lot of people don't know that, like, how beautiful it is, because young moms experience like they can be hard, like like it's a lot mentally, it's a lot physically. Your body's changing, emotionally you're changing, like financially, girl, you're changing. Kids can be expensive, like, girl, it's hard out here, but so it's just like all of these things. But it's like, like I love how Destiny always just says like she has that community. And I feel like when young people, or when anybody in general, just have that community, I think it's super, super, super important. So yeah.
I really look forward to us, like in Young Women's Freedom Center. We're gonna come. We're sisters in this work, but I really look forward to us even deepening our advocacy work with our young people as leaders, like you were saying, in the space. And I really wholeheartedly believe that our local, state, and national governments need to hear from our young moms. And they need to hear from what our young moms need. This is part of that. And they need to hear what our young moms need to really shift the culture around young motherhood. So what are the new laws that need to be put in place to support young people who are pregnant and parenting? What are the protections that need to be put in place for young people who are pregnant and parenting? What do young moms need around education, employment, and career? What are those things? Because that's how laws get made. Right? Like, see, someone's talking about it, someone's making it, someone's changing it, and really bringing our young moms to the forefront of that advocacy work, while through our support and our and our sort of co-creation and co-leadership to really shift the narrative. We know it can happen. We are already taking the steps to do that. And the next step is holding our governments accountable.
Yes, I love that you uplifted advocacy, and Dr. Mays, you and Peaches talking about just the importance of the work being youth-centered and youth-led. Every time Dream is asked to speak at any type of public or government thing, we're always bringing our young people with us, because it's so important for the public officials to hear from young people directly. They don't need us to speak on their behalf, and I love that. That's something that Dream has always prioritized. So I would love to hear from the young moms if there are any things that y'all would like to name about things in the Bay that can kind of prevent young moms from raising kids in safe and healthy communities. So any barriers to healthy and safe neighborhoods that we can learn more about, so that we can do that advocacy with you all.
Get out of Oakland, y'all. Get out of Oakland.
Well, if you can't get out of Oakland, what I think would be, okay, so I know when I was younger, all the parks around everybody's neighborhood, it was open. The recreation centers was open. They had dance classes, they had music classes, they had a lot of different stuff that we could do to keep us busy, to keep our minds where they need to be. And so I feel like the children, they need a better community when it comes to just being outside and being able to play and have a good time, and just be happy as kids and not worry about what's going on social media. As a mom, I feel like some of the same things, it's just different when you like becoming an adult and you learn how to parent. So one thing I know helped for me a lot was just being able to go back to school, like being able to know that like I got help with doing courses on Google, like digital marketing courses, things that helped me spark my mind and what do I want to do, like, because my life is not over just because I have a kid. Like, I don't have to sit here and just be a mom. Like, I still have to do something with my life. So the support with moving on, like the support with moving forward in your life, I feel like young women really need that a lot.
I love that. I love what you said around like also having more activities and for young people and their children, and naming like that there used to be more things in the Bay in Oakland, and what those activities can do for safe space for young people, but also for enrichment for children, for young people who have children. All of that is so important, and all of that is community safety. Again, people, like some things we talk about at Young Mothers Rising, like the importance of play. Well, play is also safety. You're creating safe space. You're together, togetherness, and so all those things that feel like fun and recreation, we should have those. That's also health. That's also holistic health. So I love that you named that too. I hope that we have our city officials listening. And so help y'all out here.
Yes. I also love that you said, Destiny, that your life isn't over. There's so much stigma around young parenthood, and there's so much messaging that's like, oh, well, once you become pregnant, then X, Y, and Z is going to happen. So I love that you're reframing that narrative for young people of like, no, my life isn't starting or isn't ending. My life is just getting started. I've just accessed a whole nother level of who I am, and I get to grow in that while raising a child, and that's beautiful. And we want more young moms to know that and to feel that. And so we want them to come to our spaces because we want to create that space with y'all. So thank you for saying that. Any other thoughts on things that we can do or things that are missing to keep communities and neighborhoods as well safe and healthy?
I feel like we should have more gated communities because I feel like the violence and like the gun violence and everything is what's really made the effect happen. I feel like before it was a lot of violence, before a lot of people act like they didn't have any, you know, home training while outside. Excuse me. I felt like everything was going good. You know, they used to have events. You know, I know a lot of people know about the Infirmary Park and everything. You know, they used to have things, but when a lot of violence and a lot of gun violence and, you know, a lot of teens not knowing how to act out in public spaces, of course, Oakland's not going to want to do anything anymore. So I feel like it's really more about how our community acts and not what's the difference. Because really the difference is the actions because of course you know of course they're still having things, they're having back to school things, you know, they're having summer events, but it's really about how is the event going to end, knowing what type of environment Oakland portrays. So I feel like that's really the issue.
Yeah, I love it. Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead, Destiny.
Sorry, she just made me think about something that I really was thinking about last night when I was reading over the questions, and it was about like just being in Oakland with my kid. It's like, what park do I go to? What neighborhood do I go? Like, where can I feel safe at with my child? Like, I don't want to drive down this street, and it's just like to be able to feel safe. The gun violence and just all types of violence. Like, a woman got her car stole with her baby inside of it, trying to do DoorDash. Like, it's just being able to feel safe. Then maybe we can come out in the community a little easier.
You know, I love that you all bring this up because this is exactly what our city and county officials need to hear. Need to hear directly what young people's experiences are. So, because we could be creating all these programs and all these systems and all these things, but if it's not feeling safe for young people to participate, or if it's not feeling like it's like resonating with how young people want to show up, then it doesn't matter. And so, you know, one thing that we did that we should think about doing is we do these town halls where we held them here at Dream. We've done a town hall on human trafficking. We did a town hall on HIV prevention, HIV care, and they're youth centered town halls. So it's like young people are there to come and talk, and we invite our elected officials, and they hear directly from the young people what their experiences are with that issue. So like they need to hear directly from our young moms and other youth in the community around violence, and how the violence in Oakland is preventing young moms from wanting to be outside with their children, preventing other young people from participating. Like, oh, okay, the event might be cool, but it's violent at the end. So how do we make it not violent at the end? What are the things that we can do, right? So they actually are hearing you all solutions and then trying those things. Because I think what we've seen now is that like the events just go away. And then like Destiny was saying, is there's nothing for young people to do. And then that also causes young people to be vulnerable to violence. So we want to keep calling in our young people, one, as leaders, and this is why we have to hear from our youth, and we need to make sure that our elected officials are in the room to make those changes.
I love this. I love that we've highlighted the continuum that Destiny started for us, and then Yana round out and Dr. Mays closed up. That if young people don't have safe spaces to play and have fun and hang out, then a lot of times they will be involved in violence, and then that'll create the space where the neighborhoods aren't safe, and then people aren't going outside, and so it's this big cycle. So I love what Dr. May said about calling in our elected officials so they can hear about these things. So it sounds like the next thing on the agenda is to organize a town hall. So we got to get back together, y'all. That is going to be perfect. I think that's right on time. So we will get on that. But we are out of time. I want to give a couple of minutes for people to share any final thoughts on this topic before we round out. This has been such a wonderful conversation. I'm super excited to partner with y'all in the future and later this week as well. But yes, any final thoughts?
My final thoughts, I'm super excited. I definitely want to echo, we definitely need to do this town hall, girl. So call us. We'll be there, girl. We'll do it. But yeah, I just want to say, like, this has been such a good experience. Like, I know, like, really good opportunity for our young moms to come up on here and like talk about these conversations that we always say that are very impactful. I just want to say thank you for having us and inviting us into your guys' space. And yes, we're gonna see you this week, later on this week, girl. We right here down the street, so we're gonna be here a lot. Some of our young mommies might come and join Young Mothers Rising. So yeah, I'm just super excited. Do you guys have any final thoughts? Anything?
Just thanks for having us.
Yeah.
I just want to super shout out and thank you, gratitude to our moms here, to Yana and Destiny for being here with us and for really sharing all your wisdom and your words. You all are amazing. You're already amazing, but like that last nugget right there, Yana, you did that. Like, I mean, that the thing that again we think about, like, oh, we're creating all these great things. You're like, yeah, but it's still not safe, right? So there's other things that we, and that's why we really have to have young people at the forefront of the solutions, because we may be thinking we're creating all these things, and there's a huge piece that we're missing because we're not a part of either the community that's going to be partaking in that thing. So I want to just thank our young people for being here. Thank you, Peaches, for just being a staunch youth advocate and support for our young people, not only at Young Women's Freedom Center, but just in Oakland in general. And I want to thank Lakia for bringing us together and for leading us in our podcast today, and just for all of her leadership in the background and in the forefront for our reproductive justice programs here at DREAM.
Yes, and I want to echo all of Dr. Mays' thank yous, as well as thank Dr. Mays for creating Dream Youth Clinic and creating these programs for our young people, and just for being the visionary and physician advocate that you are so that we can do this work. I love it. Thank you all. For the people in the chat, RJ Summer Week is just beginning. We have an in-person event tomorrow. It'll be a film screening, so come out. We will be partnering with California Black Women's Health Project. And then on Friday, we have another in-person event, our RJ Summer Bash from 12 to 5. It'll be a celebration, so please come. We also have a Instagram Live on Wednesday and a Youth Day of Action on Thursday. So come out. We're going to be doing stuff all week, so stay connected. And we'll see y'all soon.